Very good morning to one and all, and welcome to the next lecture on Python programming. From the last two classes, we have been working on the strings and some string handling functions in Python. Okay, so in the last class, we have studied about some of the methods such as how to find the length of the given string with and without using the string handling function. So by using the string handling function, we use something called as LEN function in order to find the length of the given string, and at the same time we can also find the length of the given string without using that LEN function, and by using the for loop and by making a variable count, right, etc. You all have learned the things in the previous session. So along with the LEN function, we have seen about one more function called as enumerate function. So enumerate function just print the pairs. In each and every pair we have two things. First one is the index value, and the second one is the first one is the index and second one is the value. So for example, if we have taken some a equal to something called as English, a equal to English, and if you use this enumerate function, okay, for example, b equal to enumerate right, b equal to enumerate of a, and if we print b, then if you do so, it is going to print where this a variable has been stored inside the memory location. Okay, so this is the address of the memory where this a has been stored. That means that English has been stored in this address. So if you want to print the list of items in that address and the index values, we can have the list function. So if you do so, it is going to print some pairs. In each and every pair we have two things. The first one is the index value and the second one is the value. So the first one is the index and the second one is the value. So here at 0 index we have E, and at first index we have N, and at second index we have G, and so on. At sixth index we have H. Okay, so this English will be stored as we are studying from the last classes. This English will be stored inside the memory location where the name of the memory location will be A, and the index values will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on 6. Where on the 0 index E will be stored, and first index N will be stored, and the second index G will be stored, and so on. So that is what we will get when you use this enumerate function. So this is where we end up the previous session. Okay, so in today's class, we are going to look at some more string handling functions. So before going to see about some more string handling functions, so let us discuss about the escape sequence in Python. Okay, so for example, I want a string A. Okay, I want a string A, or for example, I want to string a print. I want to print something called as they said. Okay, they said what's it? What is this? Okay, they said what is this? So if I want to print this one on the output screen, see here, I can give it in the double quotes. Okay, if I want to print this one on the output screen, I can give it in the double quotes. For example, I want to print, right? I want to print like this on the output screen. So if I want to print similar to this one on the output screen, so let us see what I want exactly on the output screen. I want they said, right? I want they said what is this? I want the string as it is on the output screen with the print statement. Okay, so if I write the print statement similar to this one, if we want to print some text on the output screen, so if we want to print some text on the output screen, we generally do by placing the text, right? By placing the text within the double quotes. So I want this the highlighted text exactly on the output screen. So I have placed this highlighted text between the double quotes, and if I run the code, I am getting an error that invalid syntax. Invalid syntax, because how the Python compiler is going to treat in the sense, right? How the Python compiler is going to treat in the sense. It is the starting point of the string. The starting double quotes will be the starting point of the string, and the ending double quotes will be end point of the string. So here it will treat up to this one as a string, and it will not read this one inside the string. So because of that, we are getting an invalid syntax at W, because we had given that what is this outside of the double quotes. So Python compiler is treating this is the end of the string. So in order to say the compiler it is not the end of the string, we have to do something here. So the solution for this one is there are many solutions. The first solution is that we can use triple quotes. Okay, we can use triple quotes. So let us see here. Instead of using double quotes, if we use triple quotes, so as all we know that we can define a string by using single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes. So if you use triple quotes, if you start a string with triple quotes, then Python compiler will find where the next pair of triple quotes are there. So here the next triple quotes are present. So between these two pairs, between these two triple quotes, everything will be treated as a string, and it will be printed on the output. So it is one of the solutions. So you can see the output. The output has been printed on the output screen as we desired it. Right? They said within the quotes, what is this? Okay, now we can also, right? We can also use some escape sequences. For example, if we don't want to use triple quotes here, and I want to print by using the same, if I want to print by using the same double quotes, how can I do this? In a sense, I can use the escape sequence character. What is the meaning of this escape sequence character? Is that when we use the backslash here, so the Python compiler is not going to consider the next character while compiling. And at the same time, and if I use this backslash, that is double quote, now the Python compiler will not compile this one. But when I run the code, I am going to get an error at the last. So end of the line while scanning string literal. So here you have opened the string with one double quotes, but you have closed the string with two double quotes. That's why I am getting this error. Okay, because even though we had used two double quotes in the starting, one in the starting and one in the middle, but unfortunately before the middle we had used the escape sequence character, that is backslash. Whenever the backslash was used, this one will not get compiled. If it was not compiled, it not get into the count of quotes. Okay, so now we had started with single quotes and we had ended that particular string with double quotes. That's why we are getting an error at end of the line. EOL means end of the line. So what we have to do? So in order to avoid the single quotes, we have used a backslash. Similarly, in order to avoid one more double quotes, we are going to use this backslash. Even though if we do so, still we get an error in the code. Sorry, if we do so, we are going to get the perfect output. Okay, if we do so, we are going to get the perfect output. So here it will be the starting double quotes and it will be the ending double quotes. Even though in the middle of the text, if we have 2 or 3 double quotes, it's not a problem because we had used the backslash symbol. If the backslash symbol was used in between, then the quotes will not be considered for the count of compilation. Okay, now we got the desired output. So we call this backslash as escape sequence. So in C programming language, while using the printf statement, if we want to get the tab space, we use backslash t. If you want to print something in the new line, we use backslash n. Right, similar to that one here, if we want the Python compiler not to compile the next character, we go for using this backslash. Okay, now I had a solution of printing this one on the output screen by using triple quotes, by using double quotes. Now, how can I do this one? By using single quotes. For example, if I have started this one, right? If I have started this one with single quotes, if I have started this one with single quotes, can I print this one on the output screen? So if I run the code, I am going to get an error. Where I am going to get an error? I am going to get an error at what is, that is what s. I'm going to get an error at s. Because when we start a string with single quotes, the Python compiler is expecting the end of the string with the single quotes only. It does not bother about double quotes because we had not started the thing with the double quotes. It only sees where the next single quote is. So Python compiler has found that the single quote is in between what and s. So it will treat this one as the entire string and it is an error. Now, what we have to do in order to avoid or in order to say the Python compiler to leave this single quotes, simply we can use backslash here. So if we use backslash here, now this code will not be considered into the count. Now it will be the starting single quote and it will be the ending single quote. So the in between entire thing will be printed on the output. So if I run the code, that has been printed on the output. So this is the solution how we can print exactly what we want on the output screen by using single quotes. And at the same time, if I want to print the same thing by using double quotes, here I want to use double quotes, right? So I need to view the double quotes in the starting also. Now Python compiler will start here. It found double quotes and it searches for the next double quotes. It found the double quotes here, but it was not the end of the string. So we say the Python compiler leave this without compiling, and then it will go for the here, and again it also finds one more double quotes. After that also it finds one more double quotes. So we say the compiler to leave this one also, and at the same time, if we are using the triple quotes, there is no problem. Okay, there is no problem. They said, okay, they said, what is this? Okay, they said, what is this? And we end the string with triple quotes. Now, if the Python compiler founds the triple quotes at the starting point of the string, now it searches for the triple quotes, right? Now it searches for the triple quotes inside the print statement. So it has found the triple quotes here. After the triple quotes, no text have been mentioned, so we don't get any error. So this is how we can use the escape sequence character, right? This is how we can use the escape sequence character in order to, just a second, in order to print our desired output on the screen. Okay, at the same time, Let us consider, let us do something here. I want to print something on the output screen. I belong to, right? I belong to computer science and engineering. So let us avoid this one. Let us avoid this one because and is a function. So I belong to computer science and engineering, or just use a couple of double quotes in order to print something on the output screen. In print function, we use quotes. So I belong to computer science and engineering. So if I print this one, the entire thing has been printed on the same line, right? Entire thing has been printed on the same line. So if I want to print I belong to in one line and computer science and engineering in another line, simply here, if we use /n, right? If we use /n, then if you can observe here, it has printed the things before /n in one line and the things before /n in another line. So if we make use of one more /n here, and if we run the code, it will print the things in the new line. So similar to the C programming language, also we use the /n in order to print something in the new line. So similar to that one, in Python also, we can use this /n in order to print something in the new line. Okay. At the same time, instead of n, if we use t, that is /t, here also if we use /t, now tab space will be inserted. You can see here, I belong to has been printed, and then one tab space have been given. Tab space means somewhat long space will be given. Computer science has been printed on the output screen, and then one more tab space has been given, and engineering has been printed on the output screen. So this is the way, right? This is the way we can use this. We can use these values, or sorry, we can print our desired output. So we can print the desired output by using a tab space or by using a new line, etc. So along with this, we have more escape sequence characters, so they can be used according to our need. And similarly, here next, my aim is that I want to print English is language. So English is /n language. So if I print this one, I'm going to get English is in one line and language in another line. Okay, English is one line and language in another line. But my aim is that I want to get the output like this. English is /n language. Sorry. So I want to get English is /n language on the output screen. I don't want this /n to print the thing in new line. So if you want to do so, we must have to find a method that will ignore the escape sequence inside the string. So that /n has to be ignored. So how that /n can be ignored inside the string? So inside the string, Python is providing one method called as, we can write R, it may be a small r or capital R, right? Capital R. So what that small r or capital R will tell the Python compiler is that it will tell the Python compiler, do not work on the escape sequences inside the string. It is saying the Python compiler just to ignore the escape sequences in the string. So if you don't bother about /n, /t, etc. If you write R or capital R before that string, those escape sequence things will get ignored. See here, I have used R, and at the same time, I need to write one more print statement here. where I don't use this R. So if I print both the statements, see here, if I print both the statements, the first statement has printed the output English is /n language, and the second statement has printed English is language in the new line. Okay, English is in one line and language in the new line. So here, actually, if we want to print something in the new line, we are going to use this \n inside the string. Or if you want to print something tab space, we are going to use \t. So if we do so, then some tab space will be given, or the things will be printed in the new line. But in my text, I want this /n to be printed. If in my text, if I want to print this /n, okay, /n, simply I can go for R. At the same time, instead of writing small r, right, instead of writing small r, we can go for capital R also. So whenever the compiler encounters this small r or capital R before a string inside the print statement, it is going to ignore, right? It is going to ignore the escape sequence characters such as /, there is \/ or \n or \t, etc. Okay, now let us have a look at one more method called as format method. What this format method is that? Format method that is available with string object has a powerful mechanism in formatting the strings. Format strings contain some curly braces in the sense a pair of braces like this, curly braces, as placeholders or replacement fields which get be replaced. So we can use positional arguments or keyword argument to specify the order. Let us, you can understand by using an example, not by theoretically. For example, A is having, so let us see this one, A equal to something called as a pair of braces, comma, another pair of braces, comma, another pair of braces, and at last, dot. I am using the format method. See here, I am using the format method, format of, okay, format of A, CSE, and then, comma, AI/ML, comma, DS. So if I do so, and if I print A, for example, if I print A, and if I run the code, see here, it has printed CSE, AI/ML, and DS. So if I had some index called as 1 here, and if I run the code, so it is going to print yes on the output screen. See here, yes means this CSE will be stored in 0, 1, 2 index. 0 will be stored at C, 1 will be stored at S, and E will be stored at index number 2. So if I say A of 1, it is going to print S on the output screen. And if I have A of 0, it is going to print C on the output screen. Okay, so now at the same time, we are allowed to provide some values. For example, if we provide 1, if we provide 2, and if we provide 0 here, 0, and if we run the code, just a second, we have to print A. If we run the code, you can see it has printed AI/ML, DS, and CSE on the output screen. Okay, so now this 1 index will be for CSE, 2 index will be AI/ML, and 0 index will be for DS. Okay, and then similarly, we are also allowed to give some characters also. For example, something called as S, T, and Q. And if you run the code, just a second. When we want to give some characters, we need to provide them in the single quotes. Okay, right. Now, let us look at the another thing and some more methods. For example, I have a string. For example, I have a string called as let us take a string a equal to something called as Telugu. A equal to Telugu, and if I want to print the uppercase of, and if you observe, the Telugu string was in lowercase, and if I want to print the uppercase, I can simply print it, print a dot upper, print a dot upper. You can see here, if I call the upper, it has printed the string which was in the lowercase into an uppercase. Okay, and then, and similarly, when I have something called as English here, if you observe the thing, Telugu is in small letters and English is in capital letters. And if I printed this one, print a dot lower, so a dot lower, so this statement is going to print everything in the uppercase, and this statement is going to print everything in the lowercase. So the second line, the first print statement has printed Telugu English in the capital letters, and the second statement has printed Telugu English in the small letters. Okay, and then now let us know about the split function. For example, Telugu, English, and I have written Hindi. Now, if I use the function split here, let us use the function split here. Right? If I use the function split here, print a dot split. So what this split will do is that whenever it encounters a space, right? Whenever it encounters a space, it will keep it as a separate string. It will split the string into multiple number of words. Okay, it will split the string into multiple number of words. For example, I have one more thing called as Malayalam here, and if I use the same split statement, right, on B, and if I run the code, you can see here. So it is not going to split the string if it does not have any spaces. Remember this point. Don't expect M, A, L, A, M will be splitted. Okay, if there is some space here, if you observe A, there is some space in between Telugu, English, and Hindi. So because there is some space, it has been separated the things into new strings. That is Telugu as one string, English as one string, and Hindi as separate one. So it has just splitted the words in the given string, but it does not split the characters in the given string. So if there is space, it is going to split it, and if there is no space, it is not going to split it. Okay, and now let us see. I have a variable C. So inside this variable, right, inside this variable, I have some pair of things, CSE, AI/ML, and then comma DS. Now what I want to print is print C dot join. So if I do so, just a second, this object has the attribute join. Okay, instead of doing so, let us do something here. Instead of doing so, this when we declare they are like this one, it will become a list. Now let us directly call the join function. I will say here. Let us directly call the join function. Join. So inside the join function, we can take this. For example, CSE, right? And then comma AIML, comma DS. Okay, DS. So if we do so, it is going to get an error. Okay, so I will explain this join later, and I am getting some errors. I will explain this join later. Don't worry. So let us move to the next one. For example, I have the string a equal to Telugu, English, and Hindi. Okay. Now, if I want to find some text was present in the given string or not, so I can do this one by using the find function. For example, print. Okay, print a dot find. Okay, a dot find. So what I want to find is whether there is Telugu or not. I want to find whether there is Telugu or not. So see here, it has written the value 0. So the meaning of this one is that, so the Telugu has been present in the given string from 0th position. 0th position. If I have given English here, if I run the code, I am going to get 7 as an output, because T 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the space, and from 7th character, English has been started. So I am going to get 7 as an output. Okay, so what happens when we give something called as something string which was not present in the given string? We are going to get -1. When the output of this find statement is -1, which states that the given string was not present, or the given substring was not present in the entire string. So when we say z was not there in the string, that's why we got minus. And when I say hi, and if I run the code, still I am going to get -1. There is hi in Hindi, but it is in small letters, it is in capital letters. So what we have to do, we have to provide hi in small, then I'm going to get 15. So include the space also. Up to that, we have 14 characters, 2 are spaces and 12 are English characters. And Hindi has been, hi has been started from 15th position. So this find method, so there are 2 possibilities for this find method. If this find method returns -1, which says that there is no string, there is no substring in the given string. If it returns a value, then it states that your given substring is present from so and so position. If it is 15, hi is in 15th position. If it is 7, that given string was found at 7th position. Okay, if it is -1, the given string was not found. Okay, the given string was not found. And then let us see one more thing. And here, what I want to do here is I want to take one more variable, c equal to something called as a dot replace. Okay, a dot replace English, comma Malayalam. English, comma Malayalam. And if I print this one, print C, and if I run the code, you can see here the initial A string contains Telugu, English, and Hindi, and we call the method a dot replace. That replace method is going to replace one string from another stream. Okay, I have replaced English. Sorry, I have replaced Malayalam in place of English. అదే మాట్లాడు. Okay. So I'm sorry for the delay. So I have used the replace function here. Okay, what this replace is going to do is it is going to replace the first parameter with the second parameter. So inside here I have Telugu, English, and Hindi, and I am going to replace these three things. I am going to replace the second one, that is English, with Malayalam. So when I print C, it has printed Telugu, Malayalam, and Hindi. Okay, so these are the some of the common functions what we generally use in case of strings. Okay, and with this, I'm going to close today's session. And if anybody is having the doubts in today's session, you can raise the hands. And I think in today's session, we had some error in while using the join function. I will explain it in the next class or in the future classes. Okay, 4, 2, 3, 4.
Sir, find function లో హాయ్ కి వాల్యూ ప్రింట్ అయింది కదా సార్ అవుట్పుట్ లో. కానీ హెచ్ అనేది ఒక వేరియబులే కదా సార్, అది ఒక ఇండెక్స్ లో కదా సార్ స్టోర్ అయ్యేది. కానీ హాయ్ అనేది ఒకే ఇండెక్స్ లో ఎలా స్టోర్ అయ్యింది సార్? హెచ్ఐ
ఇండెక్స్ లో స్టోర్ అవుదమ్మా. హెచ్ఐ అనేది హెచ్ఐ లో స్టార్టింగ్ క్యారెక్టర్ ఏంటి?
హెచ్ సార్.
హెచ్. ఆ హెచ్ అనేది ఎక్కడ ఉందో ఆ ఇండెక్స్ వాల్యూ ప్రింట్ అవుతుంది. ఇచ్చేటప్పుడు హెచ్ అని ఒక్కటే ఇచ్చావు అనుకో, ఆ ఇండెక్స్ వస్తుంది. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ HINTI అని ఇచ్చావు అనుకో, ఆ ఎంటైర్ స్ట్రింగ్ మొత్తం కూడా డిఫరెంట్ డిఫరెంట్ ఇండిసెస్ లో ఉంటుంది. సపోజ్ 15 ఒకటి, 16 ఒకటి, 7 అలా ఉంటుంది. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే ఒక్క స్టార్టింగ్ ఇండెక్స్ మాత్రమే అవుట్పుట్ గా వస్తుంది.
ఓకే సార్.
ఫైండ్ అనే ఫంక్షన్ ఏంటంటే -1 వస్తేనేమో అసలు ఆ స్ట్రింగ్ మన దగ్గర లేనట్లు. -1 కాకుండా ఇంకేదైనా అదర్ వాల్యూ వచ్చిందంటే కనుక నువ్వు ఇచ్చినటువంటి స్ట్రింగ్ అక్కడ వచ్చినటువంటి పొజిషన్ దగ్గర స్టార్ట్ అయింది అని చెప్తున్నాను.
ఓకే సార్.
ఇంకా ఎవరికైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే ఒకసారి అడగండి. డౌట్స్ ఏం లేకపోతే నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ లో మేబీ ఇంకా స్ట్రింగ్స్ లో సిలబస్ చెక్ చేస్తాను. సిలబస్ చెక్ చేసి స్ట్రింగ్స్ లో ఏదైనా రిమైనింగ్ ఏదైనా మిస్ అయితే అవి డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. ఒకవేళ స్ట్రింగ్స్ లో ఏం మిస్ అవ్వకపోతే కనుక ఫైల్స్ కాన్సెప్ట్ డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం. ఒక ఫైల్ ఎలా క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం, ఫైల్లో డేటా ఎలా రీడ్ చేస్తాం, డేటా ఎలా రైట్ చేస్తాం, ఒక పైథాన్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ యూస్ చేసి ఎలా చేస్తామో అది డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. సో ఫైల్స్ కాన్సెప్ట్ కనుక కంప్లీట్ అయితే దట్ ఈస్ ద ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ యూనిట్ నెంబర్ 2. Okay, so with this I am going to close today's session, and I really thank each and every listener for being here, and we will meet in the next class. Thank you very much.